Says
Are we
broadcast
live?
live. Ah,
Hey there. Welcome to all of you. If you're joining us right now, please leave us a little comment or a little loving hearts so we know you are here. And if you're watching this in replay, I also want to welcome you all. And I'm so excited. All of you that know me for a little while, I'm Dalila Jusic LaBerge, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a relationship coach for women who want true love without overthinking and overfunctioning and all those shenanigans that are happening on the dating scene today. But I'm so excited to have my dear guest, Mackenzie, who is trauma-informed love coach. Mackenzie, would you please tell us a little bit more about yourself and how did you come about to become a relationship and love coach?
yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for having me here. I think like most coaches, I didn't just wake up one morning and think, oh my gosh, I should just be a love coach. It was by me falling on my face really hard in relationships and really breaking the trust with myself that I had one relationship that was just like at the peak of all of that and showed up in huge ways. And I remember that sensation of, I never want to do this again. And so after that, I sought coaches, mentors, books, retreats, courses, programs, all the things so that I could really equip myself, because all I knew is I did not want to go back to where I was, where I was a chameleon in relationships and showed up in the way that I thought they wanted me to, and just breaking that trust with myself, not sticking to what I knew to be true for me. And so then after I gained all this knowledge, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't help but like share this with the world, because as you know, anybody watching this probably knows, we are not taught how to do relationships in a healthy way. We may have not even had role models of what a healthy relationship looks like. So to educate people on that is just like, all this passion is just pulsing in me, and I'm just like, I want to shout it from the rooftops.
I can definitely see so much enthusiasm. And as you speak about yourself, you know, it's very hard for us, and even for my readers or my clients, to kind of realize that we went through that. And I'm like this smart therapist, and you're this enthusiastic, you know, beautiful person who shows so much up for her audience, and you're beaming with, you know, joy. And it's so hard to imagine those things, you know, that we experienced. And
Yeah, totally.
right.
Yeah, I wasn't always here. You know, there was a time in my life where I had zero energy, zero drive to do anything. I couldn't eat or sleep. And I'm sure people can relate to that, right? Like when you're in that relationship out of alignment, you know, it's so draining on your system, on your spirit. And like, I know that people can transform, and I know that there's another way, because I'm living proof of it, and my clients are too, that there's another way to go about life and relationships in a way that's really in integrity with like what you truly want and the heart of who you are.
Yeah, and it strikes me really hard to see how many people feel like kind of helpless. And there is even people, when they find love, they feel like they won a lottery, like, you know. And I remember those times, and I was feeling like, my God, what does it take? You know, there was that kind of like, what does it take? And I was like pondering in my head, like, there is approximately 50% of males, there is approximately 50% of females. Why is this so hard, you know?
Yes.
But it goes back to what you're saying. We don't have models. We nobody teaches us these skills, because our families come from this place of fear, you know, and they want to protect us, and they're raising us with their limiting beliefs. I remember when I was very young, okay, that was a long time ago, but it's almost embarrassing to me to kind of like how ashamed we feel of our own background and what we went through. Like, oh, they will not marry you if you sleep with them, you know, something like that, like our sexuality should be tied to this goal, all these disempowering messages that I need to modify myself, that I need to, these centuries and millennia of narratives, like patriarchal narratives, and then our own families that kind of pass that down, all in desire to protect us, perhaps,
Sure.
all with desire to make us good students, not to get into early pregnancies, and then we wind up with these limiting beliefs, like thinking that we just need to sit and wait for somebody to notice us. And I'm so happy that you're doing this summit. Would you tell us a little bit about this summit and what people can learn from there?
Sure.
So many amazing coaches and experts.
Yeah. So, and thank you for, making that thread explicit that we are passed down, this generational belief about ourself or dating or relationships. And, it's all in there. And most of it we don't even know until we know. And it's like running the show under the surface. So thank you for illuminating that. And, the Single to Dating Summit is going live on Monday, y'all. Like, that's in 3 days. And what I really was thinking about is like, I am only one human and I can only make as much impact as I can being one human. And what I'm very clear on is humans desire connection. Humans desire for that partnership, that we long for it. And that's okay. It's so human of us. And so I wanted to rally people with me. And I picked speakers that are just as passionate about this topic as me, because I knew that I could only reach so many people on my own. So then I pulled together 30 plus freaking speakers that we all have our unique perspective based on our unique experience and our unique education. And so the first day is really about understanding your past relationships. Like, how did I show up? How did they show up? Why did I do that? And then the second day is all about your dating tool belt, building your tool set to get back out there and regulate your nervous system. And then the third day is all about how do we move forward and how do we start to take action to get to where we want to go. Because I don't know about anybody listening, but I've read lots of books, but did I take action on the knowledge that I absorbed? Not on all of it. And so it's just sitting in there. But how we make sustainable change to where we want to go is taking those actionable steps. And that's where we start to shift and our nervous system starts to get more primed for certain things in dating and relationships. And so it's a 3-day virtual conference that you can literally watch from the comfort of your own home. And it's free. You can grab all 30 plus interviews for free if you go to the link. I don't know if the link I put was in the private chat, but we'll drop it in the comments if it's not there already after this goes live, or I guess we are live after this is over. And you just go to that link and you just grab your complimentary ticket. And the way that works is on Monday, 11 interviews will drop, and for 24 hours. And then the same thing will happen on the second day. 11 interviews will drop. You'll have 24 hours to watch it, and the same on the third day. And then there's also an option to upgrade your ticket if you want instant access and lifetime access. And you get a bonus interview with each speaker, the audio downloadable files, and the transcripts, all with the upgraded ticket.
I can imagine how valuable that download audio, because I can't imagine myself sitting for that long.
Sure, yeah.
I can imagine myself going for a run, walk, or something, and listening on my phone, like podcast or something. Very, very good.
Yeah. And this...
So, go ahead.
This event is for single women that may be wanting to date and don't know where the heck to start, are overwhelmed by it, haven't dated in a while, and now like there's online dating and you're like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Or a woman that is dating and feels like you're not getting anywhere, or you don't really know what you're doing, or you're attracting the same kind of people that you're used to and you're kind of ready to break free from that pattern. There's so much juicy topics, like what we covered And then like your needs matter, abandon self-abandonment, how to create an online profile, all these different topics that are really going to help you get from A to B with way more confidence and clarity.
It's almost like encyclopedia.
Yeah, totally. It's like everything I wish I would have known 10 years ago.
I don't know if people nowadays know what encyclopedia is, because
I remember looking them up.
I'm old.
I had a whole set of those as
right?
a kid.
You did?
Yeah.
I thought you were younger generation. I thought you were already like somebody who would be online looking for all information. But tell me about, you mentioned something about reading a lot of books and then not getting into action.
Yeah.
So what is it that helped you go into the action, and how is it that this particular summit can help our audience make that step?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing for me was support. Like, this is so hard to do by yourself in isolation. And I'm not saying that you can't do a part of this journey by yourself, because there are parts that you can totally do. And then you kind of get to like a teetering point where you're like, ooh, I kind of like know why I do what I do now. Like, okay, that makes sense because I had this experience as a kid that like born in me this belief that created this behavior, but when you start to implement it, like, I think this is something people don't talk about, but when you're starting to try to break that pattern, like I'll speak for myself. So in my history, I showed up as a chameleon and I drove the relationship. It was like I was driving my truck at 10 miles an hour. I'm like, hey, you want to hop in? Hey, you want to go to dinner here? You want to do this? Hey, and I was like in control of the whole thing. And then when I began to try to take more of a backseat approach of like, actually, I want the masculine to show up and drive the truck, and I want them to direct and guide. It was so uncomfortable. Like, I remember I had already planned, like, oh, we're going to go to dinner here. And he was like, oh, do you want to pop in this Indian place? And internally I was like, no. But outside I was like, yeah, that sounds great. But inside I was like, just like tense, and like, because it was so new to me to let the masculine drive and kind of loosen my grip in a sense. And so when we start to implement these things, we start to learn about ourselves, and we're trying to make that shift. Like, it can be a whole body sensation. You may want to throw up, you may want to run away, you may want to curl up in a ball, you may want to yell, like all of this comes up because we're doing something new. And so to have support in that process that can keep, reminding you why you're choosing to do this, why you're choosing to go in the unknown, why you're choosing to be uncomfortable, is really pivotal in the change, to have that accountability and that reminder, and to help see your blind spots. Because when it comes to love, holy crap, we all have huge blind spots, especially when those chemicals start flooding in. Like, oh my gosh, it's like the fog rolls in and it's like, oh, I don't know which way's up. Yeah. So the biggest thing in my journey was leaning into support. And then the way that this summit can really help you is it kind of walks you through that process of like, okay, like, where have I been in relationships? What tools do I need to start moving forward? And then tangible steps of like how to create a profile, or how to signs that they want a committed relationship. Like, it's kind of building this knowledge base within you to walk out with more confidence, that you'll be able to spot things more easily. And of course, the summit will only get you to a certain point. And then if you want to dive even deeper, there's 30 plus experts that, you can lean into, that we all love what we do. And I mean, this is what we do in our lives, and our purpose is to help people go from A to B So if you feel like you go through the summit and you need more support, you have 30 people that, you may be drawn to one person versus another person. And, the key point is support, whether it's me or Delilah or someone else, like that's just such a pivotal part in the journey.
Yeah, exactly. Very important point. And when you kind of explore all these people and all these recordings, you're gonna be so much ahead,
Yes.
than if somebody who just. But I want to draw one important point here. It is, you don't have to feel like somebody who is like hoping that things will happen, lottery winning. There is 50% of men, there is 50% of women, whether you are heterosexual or homosexual, it kind of applies the same, but we are kind of talking in general here. And what I want to also emphasize, you can learn so many of these skills. They say God helps those who help themselves.
Yes.
It's like God is like wondering, my God, I'm trying to help you, but can you buy a ticket so that I can help you win the lottery? Or, you're kind of filing your nails up in the tower and hoping will Prince climb the
Yes.
tower and rescue you. And today's modern woman, that's what it means is like I sit in the car and I drive to work and I drive back, and there are 2.5 men at work that are kind of cute, and what are the chances that you can find somebody? But if you apply all of these skills, there's so many skills that are relevant to your dating success and relationships in general. That's a whole another topic. There is dating, and then there is dating for success that you want. If you want commitment, you can't date anymore as when you were 16. You were like, you had so many young boys in school and you fall in love just because you guys see each other every day, and then you fall in love based on your old trauma, as you were saying, because that's kind of familiar to you, and based on how your parents treated you. And I kind of connect it to attachment theory.
Yes.
So that's very kind of important to recognize all of these things in yourself, to understand man, to understand how to recognize, is he coming from fear, or is he just a person who is potentially playing games on the dating scene.
Yes.
But most importantly, you mentioned authenticity. When you show up authentically, and out of fear. So dealing with that shame that makes us feel like who we are is not okay,
Yes.
And the matter of fact, you describe it, you are a badass,
Yes.
like who you are. When I talk to my clients, it's like, who are you? You're somebody who has a big heart, who wants love, who wants to love freely and openly. Like, which fool in this world wouldn't want that, right?
Yes.
And now it's up to you to discern whether this is the right partner to receive your love, and whether you are open to receive his, of course. So they want the same, they want to give love, they want to feel that they can make difference in somebody's life. But when you come from that disempowered space, then you see them almost as enemy. How do I protect myself? And that's the biggest problem. And in this summit, you can get so many of those practical skills in terms of how to make your like website, like what you call it, profile, to all those deeper, emotional skills that you need to, discern. So I really want to invite everybody, and please invite your friends to this broadcast as well as to this summit. And where can our audience find you, Mackenzie?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram, just my first and last name, Mackenzie McGee, or I have a website, mackenziemcgee.com. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want our audience to know?
That you're just not broken. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You make perfect sense. And it's more just trying to understand why like these patterns and beliefs and behaviors have been showing up in your dating world, and come play with us. And I love that you shared like, pull your friends in there too, because then you'll have somebody to talk through it with. And I think that could be very beneficial as well. And it's free, so you have nothing to lose. So come play on our playground.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And I hope you all have a good weekend and join us. When does the summit start, you said?
It starts on Monday. So it's April 26th through the 28th. It's 3 days. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Mackenzie, for joining me for this
Absolutely
broadcast today.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.
Bye.